through the unions for the things we need. We need to fight for a public works program to put millions back to work and at union scale wages. We need to fight for a reduction in the hours of workers with no cut in pay, so working people have time for their families and have time for a social life with their families. And we need a sliding scale of wages so that, again, a fight for this, so when inflation goes up, our wages go up automatically. And in some countries, working people have fought for them. I'm originally from Belgium. In Belgium that exists, but it took a fight by working people to get there. And that's what I will promise, is that the Communist League, my party, will continue to fight with working people, with our unions, for these things.
Thank you. Well, this is the 21st century, and it's disgraceful that people are having to choose between heating and eating. It's just not right. And the Liberal Democrats do actually have a lot of custom proposals when it actually comes to energy prices, because a lot of it's an artificial market that's been created, and it needs to be rebalanced so that it actually reflects the cost of generating. We shouldn't be dependent on gas from places like Russia. And there's a lot more we can do with green energy if we actually allowed more input for people. I mean, there should be grants available for us to generate our own energy on our own homes so that we can cut our own bills. That's a good start, and it decarbonises to go with it. But yes, there is a big problem, and unfortunately Labour has just added a tax on jobs. Yes, they've backed up a bit with the hospitality industry, but the fact is, if it's more expensive to employ people, there are fewer jobs. And we actually have to deal with that and reverse those very damaging decisions. The hospitality industry is a very big one in Manchester, and a lot of people get their first job experience in the hospitality industry, and it's wrong to tax those jobs in the way they're being taxed. The other thing is housing. Now, when I was younger, people used to rent for a while in order to save up for a mortgage. But now we've actually got a problem that a lot of the houses being let by private landlords actually are on a mortgage themselves. So renting is more expensive, and people are finding themselves paying unaffordable rents because they can't afford a much cheaper mortgage. And there's several housing estates around here, when they went up for sale, they were very affordable, but almost none of them were sold to local people because most of them had been bought off plan to buy to let investors. It's not just about building more houses, it's about building more houses that people actually have a chance of getting at.
Thank you very much.
We need to be honest with ourselves. The cost of living crisis has been self-inflicted. Many of our governments have inflicted this upon us because we voted for them, because it sounded good, because they promised us free stuff. There's no such thing as free stuff. It's paid for by the taxpayer, which means your taxes have to go up. This is why we've got this problem. We need to look at net zero. Net zero is dead, by the way. People don't realise it's dead. It's dead. Because all it does is increase taxation, it increases the cost of energy. We've got the most expensive energy in the world. Our energy for businesses is 4 times more expensive than it is in America. 4 times more expensive. That's why we have no jobs. That's why we have millions of young people, or people in general, on the dole, because we can't bring industry back here because of our energy costs. Our politicians and all of us need to take some blame for this. Our priorities have been all wrong. We've spent too many decades trying to be pink and fluffy instead of looking at our priorities and putting the average person first. Parliament has spent time debating plastic straws and banning plastic straws. We send our army to Africa to protect elephants. That's what we're spending our money and time on, instead of making sure we've got a better life here. That's part of the problem. We need less taxation. We need to make sure the money you earn in your wage, you're taking most of that home. That then will solve the cost of living crisis. If we can bring down energy prices, that will work. Our housing market is one big scam. It's a money-making organisation. They're not homes anymore now. They're businesses. That can't work in the long term. But To end on this, we've got to realise this is self-inflicted. We did this to ourselves, and we need to say to the government, no more.
Thank you. Thank you very much. There you go.
Thank you. So I'm going to talk a little bit just about the sticking plasters that we often hear about from the traditional mainstream older parties. And I want to say, while we're talking about breakfast clubs, I want to ask why it is that parents can't afford to feed their own kids breakfast. And we need to think longer term and look at what we can actually do to fix it. Our water bills, we all found out last week that United Utilities are whacking our bills up again. They're paying their shareholders millions of pounds, they're still pumping sewage into our rivers, and yet the government are still not listening to the cause of all of us to say, bring them back into public hands, stop paying all these people money, our money, let's fix the system and let's lower our bills. And the same can be said for the energy companies. We pay millions of pounds to them, and then we don't get the service that we need in return. Well, let's bring them back into public hands. I want a proper insulation scheme that's done properly and regulated, which again governments are failing to do, so that all of our bills are cheaper. Because I see myself firsthand, I work as a plumber and a gas engineer, the situations that people are living in. I go to gas checks where people haven't had their boiler on for 12 months because they can't afford it. And this affects people at all incomes and all ages who are choosing between heating and eating as if it's a choice. We say it's a choice, for a lot of people it isn't a choice. And we've got people freezing in their own homes when we live in 2026, and that should not be a reality for anybody at all. And I'll talk finally about a wealth tax, because we have got growing levels of inequality in our society. Here in Manchester, we've got one of the fastest growing economies in the entire world. We see all these skyscrapers flying up, the property developers that are coming here, that are investing. We're not seeing any of that. We're seeing our wages stagnate, and we're seeing our bills go up. And the Green Party are one of the only parties, the only MPs that we've got now that are constantly calling for a tax on the super rich, so that people start paying their fair share. Thank you.
Our next question is, trust in politicians is very low. And during this election, it seems like the focus has been taken off of the local community and our needs. We, the residents, know our communities best, and we work well together to make things happen. What actual concrete ways would you put power back into our hands so that we, the residents, can be involved in making the decisions that affect us, and so that we can hold you in account? Thank you. Anna?
Thank you. So I know how it feels to be shut out of politics. For a long time I didn't really understand politics. I didn't have much of an interest because I didn't feel like it was a space I could be in. And a lot of people I know are the same, either have never voted or will say that they will never vote again. And one of the reasons I decided to stand for election as a councillor where I'm elected now was because I could just see that the people that were making the decisions that affect us aren't from the backgrounds that we are. We know that 90% of MPs have at least one degree, which isn't representative of the rest of us here. And I'm really passionate about saying that we need more people doing jobs like mine and all the jobs that everyone does in here into the places where decisions are being made, because we've got so much experience, we've got so many ideas about how we could fix things, but for too long the system has been designed to keep people like us out. But one thing I want to talk about is what I would do as your MP, because it's vital for me that I listen to people's experiences, because every single one of us has got a completely different outlook on the world, and that is a beautiful thing about our communities. And that starts with things like roundtables. I've already arranged a roundtable this week on Thursday to get to sit with residents and share our experiences. And it means having surgeries open for people to come. We've got an office on Mount Road where residents are coming in and having a chat, and that's what I really, really want to keep going. And I'm actually organising an outlet in the community, something I've done since I was elected, because it is vital for me to listen to people's experience. But I want to come back finally and just say, coming back to my own job as an example, and there'll be examples here that every one of you could give me, that we talked about insulation before. I've seen in my job how broken that is, but I've never had a way to feed that in because nobody's ever been listening to us. And I promise you, if I am your MP, I will change that. If I get my foot in the door, I will hold it open for every single one of you to come with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, well, we mustn't actually forget that it's distrust in politicians, which is one of the reasons we've got this by-election in the first place. It was absolutely no excuse for what Andrew Gwynn and his fellow councillors did. That sort of way of talking about people who've gone to them with problems and actually treating them with such disrespect is wrong. And there's absolutely no excuse. And of course, since he got caught out on that, he hasn't turned up, he hasn't held any surgeries, he hasn't been available, he's been one of the hardest MPs to get hold of, apart from the one for Clacton. So, yes, the first thing an MP should be is present. And yes, there will be an office. And yes, there will be lots of advice bureaus. And yes, going to tenants and residents groups and helping set them up if they need to be set up. And local community groups, because it's about listening as much as anything else. That's how we bring politics back to the people. Actually get involved and live here and be here and never ever treat the people of this constituency with the sort of contempt that caused this by-election. Because I've never ever spoken about, when I was a councillor, ever spoken about a constituent like that. I hope I never ever will get into that mindset where I would. It's a disgrace. And this has done a lot of damage to trust in politics. So yes, I think we need to be working together. I think we need the residents and tenants groups and community groups working together. We can work together for specific things, like we did for the Gorton 100 and the Gorton Heritage Trail and other such like. But the main thing is working as a community, and as an MP, I am part of this community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I understand that trust is low in politics, and it is up to us politicians to hold ourselves into account and to put ourselves out there. Action was taken on the disgraceful comments of the previous MP by the Labour Party, and I think that people are hungry. People are hungry to be listened to. People are hungry for politicians to bring them together and find the solutions on the pressing challenges that we're facing together. And also, they want to be part of the success of the city. In order to do that, we need to bring them together. So I will tell you about the action that I have taken when I was lead member for environment planning and transport. When I was creating, together with the councillors and communities, the city strategy and the new carbon targets for the city, which are, I hasten to add, 12 years ahead from the national government, I knew that what young people wanted to be part of it. Young people were going out every Friday shouting at the council, telling us to go forward faster and stronger on climate change. What did I do? I brought all of the schools together, including the schools in this constituency, because I wanted to hear from young people. I wanted to be in the room with them and let them ask truth to power. And boy, they had questions to ask, and I was there to listen. And what did I do? We created the Youth Climate Charter, and also I gave them a seat right at the front of the table, right at the heart of decision making on something that they're so passionate about. We have an opportunity ahead of us. 20 million is coming from the government, from the Pride in Place Fund, here in Bolton. I am going to be working with you in order to make sure that we spend it in a way that matters for local people and answers to its needs. Thank you.
Okay, trust in politics, crikey. I think we have to remember that the most powerful thing we can do is go to the ballot box and vote. But we also have to remember that our votes aren't all counted equally. I mean,
I've been campaigning in this constituency and listening to people, and there's a lot of frustration about this by-election. I think it's worth remembering that Andrew Gwynn was originally only elected on 24% of the electorate. We have a voting system which doesn't take into account the majority of what people want. And that results in things like the fact that if you look at something like immigration, which is such a pressing issue on people's minds, 70% of people think immigration is too high. And we've had a governing class, and this is amongst all the main parties, we've had a governing class that has ignored this issue, has brought in millions of people, has allowed and fostered a nasty discussion on this subject rather than dealing with it and listening to what people want, despite the fact that people have been saying this again and again and again, year after year. And I don't know about you, but I hear that MPs do surgeries. I don't know when they happen. I don't know if my MP does a surgery. I've emailed my MP and not heard anything back in the past. Something I'd like to do if I was to be elected is not just hold surgeries that people don't know about, but actually go to places. So on Fridays, MPs spend time in their constituencies. I would say to the voters here, invite me to your community groups. You know, if there's a litter picking session happening, I'll come along, I'll get involved. Because if we want to rebuild our politics, we need to start with us, and we need to do it. We can't just expect other people to do it.
Thank you very much.
Trust in politics. You should never trust a politician. You shouldn't trust anybody on this stage, including me, because you've had decades of being lied to, you've had decades of being taken advantage of, and more fool you if you're going to believe any of us for anything we've said here today. And I believe everyone's probably telling the truth, but that's not the point, is it? The point is you've been lied to all your lives. So stop believing what you're being told. Look for proof, look for evidence, and hold your politicians to account. That's your part of this deal in a democracy. It's not voting once every 4 years. And that's easy to say, but what am I going to do about this? Well, I'm going to give you 2 levers to hold me accountable. The first lever is I'm going to organise every single month a meeting in the area with a senior police officer, not a PCSO, not a sergeant, but a senior police officer, so we can tell them our priorities. Because I'll tell you now, their priorities are not our priorities. Knocking on doors, talking about free speech, knocking on doors going, you posted something we didn't like on Facebook, when we've got burglars and rapists and violent crime on the streets. We're going to hold the police to account. That sounds great and that's wonderful, but what about me? Well, I'm going to hold 10 public meetings like this every year, 10 a year, where anyone can turn up and hold me accountable. And it's going to be very uncomfortable, and I actually don't want to do it. But I'm going to do it because I work for you. I'm a public servant. And you'll get to ask me, why did you vote on that in Parliament? Why aren't you in Parliament? Why don't we ever see you here? Instead of waiting 4 years' time for you to judge me, you can judge me on a monthly basis and say it to my face. Now there's a promise.
Thank you.
Well, before I was an aerospace worker, I worked in a meat factory for 8 years. In Tameside, I was a butcher there. And I had to leave because the bosses decided they weren't making enough profits and they closed it down. Did the workers have any say in this? No. Did the people of Tameside have any say in this? No. Did the people of Greater Manchester have any say on this? No. For the last 30 years, the British government has gone to wars in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Libya. Did any of you have a say in this? You voted before, yes, but did you have a say in this? No. The reality is we live under a dictatorship of big business, of capital. We don't decide in our lives. And actually, but our voices are starting to dissent. More and more people are getting angry. And they don't like it. They fear working people. So what do? They're attacking democratic rights and democratic perspectives. They're arresting people for social media posts. They're looking at, also they're getting rid of jury trials. And the middle class radicals, often trained by Stalinism, are joining in this, and especially when it comes to Jews and Israeli Jews. They're stopping football fans from Tel Aviv to go to Birmingham. They're canceling more and more. They were celebrating a pogrom that took place in Israel, the biggest after the Holocaust, and at the same time trying to ban Jewish businesses and ban for being so-called Zionists and so forth. The Communist League stands against this. Jew hatred is a deadly danger for working people, and it comes hand in hand with the attacks on our voices and freedom of speech.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So, I think we are doing really well. So we've got one more. Mary?
Yes. This is our last question, and this one has come from one of the community groups, and the leader wanted to hear, we want to know what you are going to do about access to healthcare and tackling health inequalities. People find it hard to get a dentist, a GP appointment, and there are inequalities. Women experience healthcare different from men, and those in poverty statistically have worse health. What will you do about this?
Thank you. Well, certainly, I've recently had to navigate the health and social care system on behalf of my late father, who died last October. And even though I'm reasonably well educated and I spent a lot of years helping people fill in forms, I did find that it was a maze to try and get through. And it's complicated, and it shouldn't be. The fact is that Liberal Democrats do have a plan to integrate the NHS and social care properly so that people can live with dignity in their own homes. And we do need more GPs. I go to Gorton Medical Centre, and I know exactly how easy it is to get an appointment, and I think a lot of people do here too. When I do get an appointment, they seem very good, though I often seem to see a paramedic rather than an actual doctor. The point is that the NHS does need more investment, but it needs to be integrated properly, so that nobody should end up stuck in hospital for weeks on end because there isn't a social care package to let them go home, so that they can live in their own homes and independently. There's a lot that needs doing. I've also been on the queue and the waiting list for a dentist round here. I think we all have. We need more investment in the NHS, and if that actually means an extra penny on tax for the NHS, maybe we should consider it. Sometimes we actually need to think, we're going to pay, we need to pay properly, but we need to make sure that the money that we're investing in the NHS is used properly. So yes, nobody should be stuck in a hospital wards waiting for a package so that they can go home. Nobody. So yes, we need to invest, and let's make it the NHS we deserve.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The country's in a mess. The NHS doesn't work, councils don't work, none of our public services work. We've almost bankrupted the nation. So what are we going to do? I can promise to build your hospitals, well that's a lie, there's no money, I can never get the money. Nobody on this stage will be able to fix these problems in this area. It's just impossible. But what we can do is start highlighting what the problems are. If you've got poor mental health, that reflects in your physical health. So we need to look at mental health better. 5,000 men in the UK kill themselves every year. 1 in 5 women are on antidepressants. And we're a first world country. And that's the outcome we've got. Men are killing themselves and women are on antidepressants. That's just not good enough. And how do we improve lives that then can improve the physical life of people? Well, how about if you're not worried about crime? How about if you're not worried about walking down the street? How about you're not worried about your kids are playing out and are they going to get stabbed to death? How about not worrying that you've not got a job, you can't get a job, your job pays so poorly, you've got to claim benefits as well as working 2-3 jobs as well. That's destroying people. We've set some sort of society up the last 20, 30, 40 years that seems to be penalising people all the time, especially if you do the right things. If you make the right choices and you work hard and you're doing everything you should do, you're penalised. And you wonder why it feels like we've got bricks on our shoulders all the time. And we feel like we're under someone's thumb. And you wonder why our mental health is going down all the time, which is then affecting our physical health. So don't believe any promises that we can fix the NHS, because we probably can't, and it'll take decades, it'll take a fortune, but we can start improving local communities' mental health. That's where I would start, that's where I'd be pushing in this area.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I think we can fix our NHS. I think we can bring it back to what it was. I absolutely can. I'm really brave enough to say that it's possible we can do it. We just need people who've got the guts to do it. The Labour government are already dancing around privatising parts of the NHS. Reform are very clear that they will do the same, but Greens won't. Now, we know that women are more affected and people living in poverty by inequality in healthcare, and we know that ethnic minority women are affected so much more. The statistics are absolutely horrifying, and yet no government is brave enough to tackle it. And the thing here about Greater Manchester is that in a diverse constituency such as this, we stick up for each other. So even if we're less affected by something, if it's something that doesn't affect me but it affects you, I promise I will fight for you, because if the tables were turned, I know you would do the same for me. Women tend to be carers, often unpaid carers, and living in an economy where we're just surviving off the free work of people's labour while the very, very richest in society continue to line their pockets. I will be the MP that calls that out. Because a wealth tax can fund the NHS, it can fix it, but it will also make things fairer to make people start paying their way so that we can fund our health services properly.
Thank you very much.
Well, the NHS came as part of the reforms that came out of World War II, when the ruling classes, and I think one politician quite said it openly, if we don't give them reform, we'll give them revolution. They were so afraid of the working class that they had to give us concessions like NHS, council housing, and so forth. But that was because working people fought for these things. But from the beginning, because of the type of social relations we live under, it was still a commodity. Healthcare was still a commodity, and they started to erode it. You know, they started to charge for prescriptions, they started to do this, they started to do that. And we've seen this erosion now for decades, and we've seen where that leads to. It's only through a fundamental change in social relations, where working people take charge and hold of our own labor, and we start to decide what to do with it, that things like healthcare and other things can be truly meet the needs of human beings, so like ourselves. And the capitalism is impossible. You can't fix that through taking a bit from the rich and giving it back to the poor through a wealth tax or anything else. A fundamental change in social relations is needed. That's why the Cuban Revolution is such an important example. Despite the attacks on it by the US government and the other imperialist powers, it's been facing a lot of hardship, and especially right now. But if you go to Cuba, you can see how healthcare is so much different, and that is because of the revolution that took place in that country, and that's what we're for. That's what the Communist League is for in this country too.
Thank you.
I was just about to say I was campaigning in Denton and I met a voter and I thought that sounds really like a politician. But I was speaking to somebody in the street in Denton at the weekend who was a wheelchair user, and she was telling me about how just the awful problems that she's had to face in trying to deal with the NHS. And she said something to me just at the end as I was walking away, and I thought, was that Freudian slip? She said, we need to nationalise the NHS. And I thought, oh, that's really good. We need to renationalise the NHS. I think we are under this illusion that the NHS is still a nationalised thing. It's not. And our GP surgeries, there are thousands of for-profit, private GP surgeries across the country. Right? It's not in their interests to make sure that you're fit and healthy. They want you on their books, but not using the surgery, right? Not taking out time. We need a radical rethink on how we do the NHS, and it's not just about funding. Politicians will keep saying it's more funding, more funding, more funding. We need to have a whole systemic look at it. If you think about mental health as well as physical health, and flip it round and say, how would we create a scenario in which people's mental health and physical health was bad? We would put people in 9-to-5 office jobs where they don't really know what they're doing, they don't see the fruits of their labour, and we would have social media running rampant. We would create something like the scenario that we've got at the moment. We need meaningful work again so that people can feel like they're actually doing something and they can see what they're contributing to. I think that's a massive, massive thing that's missed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to reiterate that the Labour Party believes free NHS and healthcare for all. And this is at the heart of our Labour values. Manchester has dared to dream it, and Manchester has listened, and this is why Manchester has worked with the previous Conservative government on health devolution, bringing together adult health and social care and actually delivering positive outcomes in this community. I want to continue and I want to build on this work. The Labour government has invested an extra 20 billion per annum since Labour came to power. We have already seen an extra 7 million appointments, GP appointments, and in Greater Manchester we're going to be getting 18,000 extra dentistry appointments. We had the second biggest fall on NHS waiting lists, so we're cutting through that, but I do understand and I hear very clearly that there's so much more to do. And if you elect me, I am going to be here fighting for every community and for access to healthcare services that are appropriate and needed across every corner of this constituency. Thank you.
We are right on time. So what we want to hear now is a final 2 minutes each for the candidates to wrap up the message to the voters out there. So we'll start from that end, Sebastian.
Some questions made earlier.
So something I'm really keen to highlight this election campaign is that we're not lumbered with the politics and the political parties of the past. We can actually create new political parties. We can find new political parties that really represent us. You know, I'm attracted to the SDP because it's a party that recognises that the state has to be involved in these key industries, in healthcare, education, transport, and whilst recognising that some of the politics of the left has gone way past the population when it comes to things like social policy. And I think that key SDP thing about focusing on family, community, nation, this is what attracted me to the party in the first place. And I think when we start, we've become used to this idea that we can't rebuild, that we can't have a country where we achieve great things. And I think we need to reinvigorate our sense of imagination. You know, just down the road was the, I think it's called the Bayer Peacock and Company factory, where for about 100 years between the 1850s and 1960s, they built over 8,000 trains. Like that's the sort of thing we should be aspiring to. But if we want to do that sort of thing, we've got to start investing in our industry and we've got to start investing in our communities. So that's why I'm standing in this election.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, this election really is about what sort of an MP do you want? Do you want an MP who flies in occasionally in between his jobs on GB News, or who has just discovered where this constituency is? Or do we actually want an MP with a track record of getting involved at community level, working hard, working with people, and making sure that we're heard in Westminster? Now, there are 72 Liberal Democrat MPs, and if there are 73, that will make our voice even stronger. So let's actually think about the sort of area we want. We do want people living together, but we want people living with hope. Hope that things are going to get better. Hope that actually hard work is eventually going to pay off. We need hope that the NHS is going to be fixed. We need hope that we can actually deal with the climate crisis. And we need to be going forward and making sure that working together we can achieve these things. We're better than what other parties like Reform are saying we are. We're better than that. We do work together. This is an area which I've really been proud to live in. I've been proud to represent on Manchester City Council for many years. I love this area. This is my home. And I want this area to be better, to grow, for the housing problems to be sorted out, and for people not to be living in that quiet despair you get when every single wage packet doesn't quite last till the next one. So yes, this is about Gorton. It's not even about the government. It's about having an MP that actually cares about this area, knows about it, lives in it, and loves it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm not the sort of person who will overpromise and give you pie in the sky things that we're trying to achieve, that we're never going to achieve, or it's going to take decades. You need to understand, we need some small, short, quick wins. That's what we need. We've got so many problems, we're not going to be able to fix them. People on stage, we're not going to be able to fix them all in this parliament over the next decade. They're going to take decades to fix. So I'm going to promise you 5 things that you can hold me accountable on. The first thing is, on day 1, if I'm elected MP, I'm going to commission a local grooming gang inquiry for this area to look at child abuse. Has it gone on here? Do we know? Do you know? I don't know. So let's find out. And if we've got former politicians, police officers, council staff who turned a blind eye, look the other way, I'll publicly name and shame them. Knife crime's an issue. Parents are scared stiff to let their kids out. I'm going to fund with part of my salary as an MP. I don't need £96,000 to live on. I'm going to fund an anti-knife crime project to work on the streets and evenings and weekends through this area to take knives off the streets and make sure kids are safe. The council's failing. Every council's failing. I'm sick of it. So I'm going to set up a hotline in my office where people who work for the council can report wasted incompetence, and I'll embarrass them. I'll embarrass them that much they will fix themselves, because they're wasting our money and our council tax goes up every single year. And then we're going to hold the police accountable with monthly meetings with senior police officers. Their priorities should be your priorities. It's as simple as that. And finally, I'm going to make sure you hold me accountable, because I could be full of it. I could be telling you what you want to hear, and I could get 96 grand a year for 3 years, 4 years, and isn't that fantastic for me? You need to hold me accountable almost every month to make sure I'm doing what you want me to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. What I want to do as your MP, should you choose to elect me, is to bring people together and turn their voices into action. This is something that I've been doing across my work and across being a councillor. People are hungry for change. They're hungry to be seen, to be involved, and to be part of moving forward. I want to bring hope into our communities. After 14 years of austerity, as a Manchester councillor, this year I was asked, what do we do with the extra 35 million that we got from a Labour government? It's a very unheard of and unfelt feeling, but change is coming. And in the next year, Manchester City Council is going to be getting 130 million. I want to be working and fighting for every corner in this constituency. I want to be working with everyone to bring all of this change. This election is about division and unity. And don't let people give you easy answers. The Greens, 2 weeks ago at full council, they voted against affordable housing. They voted against investment in our communities. I want to work together with the Labour government and with the Labour mayor and bring change across every corner of this constituency. I've got tenacity, I have delivered, I have worked here, I know this community. I want to work with you to bring more. So please, give me your support on the 26th of February. Thank you.
So it's really clear, as I say, that Labour have failed us after they promised change at the last election. Almost 50% of children in this constituency live in poverty. A third of people can't afford to put the heating on. We are not a poor country, we are not a poor city, but government after government has treated us poorly. So my number one priority will always be to tackle the cost of living, cheaper bills through public ownership, rent controls, free bus travel for young people, insulating homes and doing it properly, because we've got some of the leakiest homes in Europe, and I don't just know that from books, I know it because I work to fix so many of them. And the truth is that Reform's candidate isn't here. He's not here because he doesn't care about this constituency. This is just the next rung on the ladder of his radical right career. We know about his Islamophobia, how he'll pit communities against each other, and how he'll spew hate and fear. And our job, my job, would be represented by career politicians. We've seen it all play out, haven't we, in the last few weeks with Labour. They don't care about our communities. Politics needs more people like us. Shopkeepers, nurses, carers, taxi drivers, parents, yes, of course, plumbers, I'm biased. But we're the ones who know how things work, and we keep the country moving. And when we stop, everything stops. So it's time to take the power back into our hands where it should be. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, first of all, I think what the major parties are doing is they're presenting themselves as a lesser evil. We're the ones that are going to stop. Labour is awful. We're the lesser evil. Conservatives are awful. We're the lesser evil. Reform is awful. I can stop reform. The Greens are awful. We're the lesser evil. But nobody's saying. But what we're saying is, it's not who you're against. It's what you are for. None of the parties recognize the fundamental class division in this country, except for the Communist League, and take a side on which side they are on. It's only the Communist League. There's a lot about we, but who's the we? The Communist League recognizes it's we, the working class, working people. We need to start to organize. But for the major parties, the we is we British, but there isn't a Britain, there's two Britons. And then, of course, they do solve divisions. Like the Green Party says, it's a Southerner that's standing. What's wrong with a Southerner? I'm technically from down south, given that I'm from Belgium. Am I such a problem that I'm standing? No, we've got to start with the class realities that we're facing, and we've got to start with the fact that the working class needs to organize its own political party for its own interest, and we need to fight for what we need. It's the labor of working class people that produces all wealth, but it's taken away from us. We have no. It's only through a struggle for power by our class against capitalism that we can move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So thank you everyone for a lovely evening. I'll just pass over to Beth, who's going to conclude our meeting.
Amazing, thank you so much. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can we have a massive round of applause for all of that? Thank you so much for taking the time and the thoughts that you've put into this. And thank you, we've had a lot of talk tonight, and you have been very kind and respectful neighbours, not a heckle inside, which we absolutely loved. I want to just take a second to just tell you about the organisation of this and the candidates that devised it, etc. So we did invite every single candidate equally to this event, and thank you so much for being here. We did get some very polite apologies from Dan Clark. So Oinkalot, I think, let me know that he was away. If anybody's noticed that Oinkalot is having. I didn't hear any reply from the Tory candidate. And we did have reform confirmed until about half an hour before the event started. And I can let you know that we had a very stressful day because we were replying to many emails from reform supporters. We asked all of our candidates, and thank you so much for respecting this, we we asked all of our candidates to not share with their supporters, to fill the room with their supporters, and we spent all day today replying to emails from candidates who had been asked to come from across the Manchester. And yeah, and we were just busy with that. Completely, that was fine. We loved it. We loved spending our day with we were lucky that we had this Monday.
That's good.
So just to let you know about this event, so we have organised this as a group of neighbours with no money, with no resources, just entirely volunteers putting something together. And the election was only announced like a week ago. So imagine what we've created here within, 4 days? We started planning this on Wednesday. And we've pulled together this room full of people, you amazing people, our fantastic candidates who have been here. And as wonderful as it's been, and thank you so much for acknowledging how important it is to have community voice involved in decision making, as wonderful as it's been to hear what you have to say, which we love, you know what's more exciting is what you have to say. Because actually it's us that know, it's us that feel the field and know the lives that we live. And we are the experts in all the things that affect us. So what Local Voices is all about is taking power. We don't in fact really need to ask permission to take power back into our own hands. We don't really need it given to us. We can do that ourselves. We can do things like this that bring us together to solve problems. So Local Voices is a way, like a mobilisation of community members, not with a political agenda, but just by getting together to solve problems together. And if you would like to join us, we would absolutely love it. It's just neighbours trying to tackle issues that we all share and find a common ground. And there's posters up around saying join Local Voices. If you want to join our mailing list to find out what the next stuff is, please do. We absolutely love it. And there's also a bucket, I believe, being shaken. There's no pressure, but if you think this is something that we need going forward after this election is really just the beginning. Whatever happens after is communities that need the power, it's us that need the power, and we're grateful that there's so much willingness tonight to work with us. I need to also remind you that today is the deadline to register to vote. So if you have not registered to vote, please, please, please register. There are also QR codes up around the room and in the entrance hall and on the desks to register to vote. You can scan the QR code and ask us, any of us will help you with that if you need any help. So without further ado, I will leave it to Mary to actually wrap this up. Thank you so much. The candidates are going to be sitting about for a few minutes to talk to you and take some questions and chat, see what you thought of all this. And yeah, so will we.
Thank you, Beth. I would like to say thank you, everyone. And can we all give a loud applause to our amazing volunteers who have put everything up together tonight. What we call community power.
Yeah, that's right.
And thank you and well done, everyone. And at this time, I'll just say thank you, everyone, again for coming and have a lovely, safe journey home. Thank you.
All right, folks. That was powerful. That was powerful, folks. You guys have any questions? I believe they're gonna take questions. I believe they're gonna take some questions. I'm not sure if they will. Well done. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good luck. Good luck. Well done. Well done. Good luck. Good luck. That's Nick Bartley right there. Want to say hi? Hi, everybody. Excuse me.
Hello.
Yes, bro, how you doing? Good luck.
Yeah, my mate, Mark.
Good to see you, man.
Mark, who?
What press are you from?
Say it again.
What press are you from? What press are you from?
What press? Independent. Right.
Just talk to me after so we can connect details, is that right?
Yes, yes.
Just look for me before you leave.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you get any apologies from the
I don't, I don't live in Hale, I'm just elected.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, yeah. Where did they go? Where's the other one? Alright, folks, do you have any questions? Where's the label?
I'm very surprised.
I'm gonna ask, we're here with Hannah. I don't know if you guys know her, she's running for Green. Do you guys have any question for Anna? If you do, put it in the chat. We're not gonna have enough time with her. There's a lot of people who wants to say hi. Oh, sorry, I was behind your picture. All right, we're gonna talk to Anna now. Anna, just. Yes, bro.
I should have got you to take it. And you wouldn't have felt left out.
So we are lots of European families. They move from Europe to here. Because most people living in the home side.
She's still a councillor, right? Yeah. Just to verify.
The councillor in Hale. For Hale Ward.
For Hale Ward.
Not
far. Not far. Thoughts on Mark Goodwin not turning up? You didn't should I put your face? No? What's your thoughts? The microphone is there.
At the last minute, didn't it?
30 minutes before the show.
Shambles.
Yeah, that's kind of like disrespect, to be fair.
Maybe you can share your number. How are we going to approach you?
Where's the Labour Party candidate? Where did she go? Don't tell me she's already left.
Don't Green Party.
Right there, alright, perfect. It's just I want to ask her a question before she goes.
Is that someone's laptop?
Must be Nick, because he was sitting there.
I will remind you.
Sorry, I would give a better quote, but I just shouted.
Go on, say it.
No, I just shouted. It was good though, it was good hustings, right?
No, it was. I think it was a good turnout.
Yeah.
You don't really get this as many in the area. You don't get this as much.
It was really
Usually,
good vibes.
Yeah, I think obviously I'm going to talk to the lady who hosts this, and I'll give her some kudos because she did really well.
I think she's on that side now. She's got a clip of us.
Yeah, I've asked her for her to wait for me.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
All right, folks, we're gonna talk to. We're live right now, but I'm not gonna show her face because she said no in it. All right, folks, if you got any questions for Hannah, okay, so they got a question. NHS needs reformation, don't you think? Yeah, the NHS is a huge problem.
No one does.
All right, I believe it's my turn now. How you doing, Hannah? You all right? Is it okay if you? I'm good, thank you. Is it okay if you put this on yourself? Oh God. No, it's for the channel, YouTube. Yeah,
It's
I'm
actually
live.
fine.
Yeah.
He's our press officer, so
Sorry?
Steve is our press officer. At
How you doing? You all right? Also, I need to talk to him to get an interview. Can I get an interview,
That's
Steve?
why he was like,
Thank you
"What's
so much.
that?"
Thank you. Just a quick one. The questions are coming in, but one of the questions was about NHS because we're doing a deep research with my team, and we figured out that NHS right now is being owned by foreign companies. One of them being Palantir Technology, which has signed multiple deals with a lot of councillors, a lot of institutions in the country. Is there anything that you have planned that you would do to remove the data that Palantir Technology is harvesting from obviously from the country as a whole, but in particularly NHS?
So I think Zach wrote to the Health Secretary today about Palantir, and we know that our 4 Green MPs have
created enormous pressure on the government about things generally, but Palantir is absolutely an issue that we need to start talking about. I don't think people realise how many sort of insidious links there are with a lot of MPs and how much money is changing hands that people don't realise. And I think it comes back to stuff like this where, because politics can be quite hard to get your head around, like I know I struggled with quite a lot of stuff.
It happens so quick, to keep up is hard.
Stuff like this is difficult. So again, I think one of the benefits of broadening out and bringing people in is that it's easy to understand stuff like this so that we can hold people to account.
True.
I might need to move on just a second, is that all right? Because I know we're going to be moving just very shortly. I'm just going to speak to this lady. Is that
it's okay for one more question.
I'll come back to you in just a second.
All right. I'll talk to her. All right. It's okay if we schedule a podcast with her.
Yeah, you pop me an email. I'll give you my email address. That'd be fantastic. Obviously, she does have a very full schedule.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's lined up. Sorry. So we got questions for everybody. How you doing? You alright? Sorry. All right. Ignore that comment there.
Yeah, I'm not looking at it.
Don't look at it. All right. How do you guys think she did? That was really cool, right? We're gonna do more with her. So we're gonna come back and do another one. So hold your questions. Keep them coming. Yeah, Matt Goodwin didn't come. All right, Chase. I'll email you on that. Yeah, Chase. All right, we're gonna move on. I think we've talked to Nick. I want to talk to the Labour candidate. How you doing, Auntie? You all right? Yeah, that's good. That's good. How you doing? You all right? Yeah, I'm doing good, thank you. Yeah, but I got here late though, so I kind of missed the start. But I still got the good stuff. I'm about to speak to her now. It's just I'm keeping my phone close to myself because I don't want to film a lot of people. I'm not sure if they're comfortable being in camera. Are you voting? Who are you voting for? Well, people think voting is a thing that everybody does, but not many people vote. You know that, right? So who are you voting for then? You're not disclosing it. Are you still deciding?
Oh, I'm not. No, I don't live here.
So you're not from here? Oh, I thought this was local, so...
Yeah, no, I'm
just occupy the seat.
Oh, no, we're just helping Angeliki tonight.
Oh, okay. All right, perfect. Do you guys have any questions for Labour, Angeliki? So we just spoke to Green Party, now we're going to speak to Labour. Do you guys have any questions? Comment down below. Any questions?
A bit around division, so... And this is very popular area. Hi, right there, Andy. How you doing?
Any questions? Put them down right now.
Yeah,
So...
He's basically looking to go for Greens because he thinks, this is as simple as... She's doing the local action, right? You know what I mean? Yes, I know where we are. And I think just
Yeah, it's the same Labour. It's the same Labour Party, yes. That's all right, it's all right. Hi, Angeliki. Quick question. I don't know if you got enough time. Do you have like 2 minutes with me?
What do you need?
Just a quick question. Can you put this on?
Who are you with, sorry?
It's an independent. I mean, just streaming. Is that okay? So some questions just coming in.
We've really got to make a move though, sorry, mate.
Okay. Since you're a councillor right now.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I am Angeliki Stoya, and I would be grateful to have. Hi, I am Angeliki Stoya. We just had a very busy hustings, and I am here to put a message for hope. I am a candidate that has lived in the area, has delivered for the area, and can hit the ground running. This is a choice between unity and division. It is only the Labour Party that can beat reform. I would be very grateful if you vote for me on the 26th of February. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just a quick one on that, yeah, because since you're a councillor, you was a councillor at Manchester City Council. Is there anything that you did that you can suggest that benefited the public with your work over there?
Absolutely. Today I used an example from when I was the lead member for environment planning and transport. So under my tenure, we built the first Cyclops in the UK. I involved young people in decision making. I get around climate change. I created local action through the wards across the city so that residents can talk about what they want to do in terms of tackling climate change. I have delivered on unblocking the drains, resurfacing the roads, and I have worked together with Andy Burnham to bring in change and the B network as well. So I would be absolutely delighted if people give me a chance. This is about the divisive politics. This is about delivering action on the ground and representing every corner of this constituency. I can hit the ground running, and I would love to work with young people in the future and make sure that they are involved and they are part of the change that a Labour government is bringing.
Thank you so much. I noticed that you're a rush. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for your minutes. All right, cheers. She's in a rush. She's going. I was going to ask her more questions, but she's gone. Oh, God. Hey, Steve. Sorry, is it okay if I just go through? All right, folks, it's very...
Yeah, I see. Well, yeah, I am. So, 07772.
Who else should we talk to? How you doing, Auntie? You all right?
Yeah.
You all right?
Do you have a card?
A card? No, I do not have a card, no.
Because are you...
Yeah, I'm streaming, yeah.
Oh.
I'm live. No, you can still talk to me.
No, it's basically, it's just that we also need to meet and we need people like you. We have an event coming up.
Right.
Big event in September where we need to meet. What platform are you coming from?
I'm coming from YouTube, every platform, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere.
Okay, so how could I be in touch with you?
Yeah, I can give you my phone number if you can, if that's okay.
So we have like event coming up in September about football.
Is it local?
Yeah. Here in Gorton.
Oh, all right then. Okay. So you can put your number here.
Anyway, let me give you this one.
All right.
As we are busy. My contact number. I will take your number, but just take this in case so you can know what we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
And this one for football for young people.
Oh, you got football going on?
Yeah, that's the one.
All right, that's gonna keep me busy. All right.
This is very good, very good.
All right.
So
Okay.
that's why
Okay.
I came to
Is your number here?
Yeah, let me check yours in case.
If you just put your number there, I need a minute with. All right, folks, wait there. Oh, sorry. I know we're blocking your way. I'm sorry. Did you get a missed call?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
What's your name?
It's Baraka, Baraka.
You know, honestly, you will love this. I know that you are busy, but we'll talk about this.
Yeah, for sure. Just call me after this. An hour after here, I'll be free.
What's your name again?
Baraka, Baraka. That's right. So I got your number. I'll call you now after this, and you can tell me more. Is that all right?
Okay.
All right, great stuff. Yeah, however way you want it, we can bring all the gears.
Okay.
We'll talk. You can tell me more. All right, folks. Man, things are happening so fast. Steve? Sorry, do you know where Steve is? Sorry,
I spread the word.
Do you know where Steve is?
Steve.
The
guy with the blue tie.
Yeah, Steve.
He was just there.
Oh God, everybody's leaving.
Fully out there.
Wait. You know where Steve is?
Which Steve? That guy?
Oh, that's it. Oh, that's Steve. Oh, sorry, you both look the same. All right, folks, they're leaving right now. God.
Sorry, long day.
All right. Oh my God, everybody's moving so fast. Steve.
I'm really sorry.
All right, they're leaving, folks. No more questions. They're literally right there. That's Anna right there. She's leaving. We only had one moment to ask her a question. She's gone. But let's see. Who else should we talk to? We've talked to Nick Butley. Let's talk to SDP. Sebastian, how are you doing?
Hey, man.
I didn't get a chance to talk to you, bro.
That's okay, you're right.
We met last time. I think it was 2024, wasn't it?
In the conference.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Baraka, from the conference?
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, sick. Are you local here?
I live in the constituency, the neighbouring.
I didn't even think you were from Manchester. You know.
Huh?
I didn't think you were from Manchester. I thought you were from.
I'm a southerner, but I live in Manchester.
Oh, I
Been
thought
here for 4 years.
I actually thought you're from Scotland. To be fair, that's why I
Yeah?
thought. Yeah, actually, because Craig and all those other
Right.
guys,
Yeah.
they're from Scotland, innit? So I thought you were part. You know, you're from there as well.
What did you think of it tonight?
I think it was quite good. But I would have wanted more time to spend with the people who turned up.
It was weird they didn't allow people to ask questions.
I know. I thought they were gonna have people to ask. You know, they were gonna ask questions, but apparently not. It moved so quick. And so you're running, bro. Tell me more about your campaign and.
What do you want to know?
Bro. Because I don't know what you've done in politics so far, so I can't really just clip it anyway. Guys, if you guys don't know him, this is
Hello.
Sebastian from the SDP.
Social Democrats.
The Social Democrats.
Yeah.
Social Democrats. Tell me, why SDP, bro? Because obviously nobody really, in a sense, not many people know SDP as much. There's a lot of parties that you would have had more chance going with. It looks like you are so passionate with SDP that to the point where you know, even though nobody knows about it as much, you still want to put it on the front. You still want to campaign with it. You still want to basically elevate it to an extent, because you guys don't have anybody in Parliament.
No MPs. We've got a few councillors.
A few councillors, not MPs. And why SDP, bro? And what will it bring? What will be different to have a new party in Parliament?
So I don't think the old parties can solve the problems, right? I think we've seen that year after year after year. It's just the same problems getting worse and worse and worse.
Right.
So we need new parties. I love the fact that at this election we've got a much more variety, right? Labour and the Conservatives, I think, are done.
Yeah, we have a lot more options.
But the SDP, for me, it's about if we're going to rebuild the country, right? Which I feel we need to do.
Yeah, quick.
We need the state to be involved in things, and a lot of the insurgent parties aren't really sort of recognising that the state needs to start building houses. It needs to allow us to have cheap energy so that we can not just heat our homes, but start bringing industry back to the UK, start making things again, start creating well-paid, meaningful jobs.
Yeah, true.
Right? And I think the SDP, it really, I love this phrase, it's radically sensible. Right, so any issue, it's not going to say, right, this is our ideology, we're going to be on this side of the issue. It's going to take it and say, right, what's the radically sensible thing to do here? Right, and something like immigration, which the parties have just neglected to talk about or deal with the problem for so long. The SDP says, right, we've got to end mass immigration. That's not a crazy position, like a fringe position. That's where the majority of the electorate
that's
is.
the mainstream talking line now. So when you say you need the state to be involved, what does that really mean? Like, what sort of involvement do you want them to do? Don't you think they already have a lot of involvement right now?
Well, no, I think the state does a lot of things at the moment that it shouldn't be doing, right? Like digital ID. No, we don't need that.
Right. But that's them being involved, though. But
it does a lot of things that it shouldn't be doing, and it doesn't do a lot of things that it should be doing. So, like,
what do you think it should be doing?
Housing, for example, right? The state used to build houses,
right?
And if you look at a graph of housing units to be approved every year, right, to be built, it goes like this. And the reason why is that the private sector has just remained stable all through that time. They build the same number of homes every single year.
Right.
It's the state that has stopped building houses.
Right.
That's the reason we've got a housing crisis.
Why do you think that is?
As well as the fact that we're bringing in millions of people every year.
Why do you think that is? Because I mean, a lot of times the government always thinks them partnering up with a private business will move faster and get things done quicker, and obviously they can just pass on the burden to the other.
But something like housing, right? And we'll know this from, if you think about the price of gold, right? Gold's valuable because there's a certain amount of it. If you suddenly brought in a whole, massive load of new gold, the price of gold would drop.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Same with housing.
Yeah.
It's profitable to have a scarcity of housing. So the private developers are very happy with the amount of housing that is being built every year.
Yeah.
Because housing keeps going up and up and up in cost, whilst wages have just stagnated. And that's why the state has to actually start building them and saying, no, we're going to build that. right? And that will. So you take a constituency like this, which is quite urban, right, Gorton and Denton.
Right.
But if you deal with the problem in other parts of the country where there is space to build, it will lower housing prices here and it will decrease the cost of rent. That's massive, right? Because it's not just Gorton and Denton's problem; it's the nation's problem.
Yeah, true. I think housing has been a problem for everybody, every area. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now, are you local here?
Yeah, so I live in the neighbouring constituency and I volunteer at a food bank in the constituency.
Cool. What do you think is the main problem that this constituency is facing that you think you might be able to change?
So, I think people here, we're not far from the centre of Manchester, right?
Right, yeah, no.
And I think people here, they hear this idea that Manchester's kind of growing, it's becoming better and better, it's had great economic growth, but they're not seeing any of that. And if you walk around Gorton and Denton, you'll feel this. It doesn't feel like it's thriving, right? And so they're not seeing the fruits of that.
Yeah.
Partly because a lot of the jobs are in services. You know, a fancy new American bank in the centre of Manchester, that's not the sort of vision for a Britain I want.
Yeah.
Right? I want us to be making things and allowing entrepreneurs to come up with new things and innovate here in Gorton and Denton, right? And in other parts of the country, not having to, people having to move elsewhere to get a fancy job in an office. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing for people here, that there used to be industry in this constituency and there isn't anymore.
Yeah, but when you look at Manchester historically, it never used to attract businesses that would put them in offices. It used to attract people who would go and work in factories. As you can see, when you look at all the jobs, usually it used to be more labor type of intensive type of work.
Yeah.
Factory, buses, and all this thing, and trains, and blah blah blah, and rails, and people would travel around to Liverpool, Manchester, and in Trafford.
Yeah.
So we never did have that office, fancy stuff. And obviously things have changed now. Not many people want to go and work in the trains. Not many people want to go and start building, weapons, and like we did, during the wars and during the Falkland Wars, World War II and all those things. Nowadays, more people want to just work from home. Open the laptop and maybe go somewhere and do fancy stuff. So, if you were to address that, don't you think you'd be taking the I want to do this type of, those people who just want to do what they want? Don't you think you'll be controlling what people want to do by taking that away and bringing the old version?
So if I think about a lot of the people I know and myself, we don't want to just sit in an office job, a job where you don't really know what you're doing. Like, you're just there sort of pretending to work so that you can get paid. You heard this term like BS jobs.
Yeah, you're just turning up, yeah.
We want to be able to contribute and do things and start, seeing the fruits of our labour, right? Building something.
That's correct.
And these industrial jobs won't be the industrial jobs of the past, right? We can't just rebuild the stuff that we had in the past. We're going to be doing new stuff.
Right.
So when we reindustrialise, when we bring energy costs down so that we can reindustrialise, we will be creating industries of the future. And we, things that I can't even think of at the moment because I'm not clever enough to think of, right?
It's not that. Obviously, there's more things that will come after our lifetime. Now, this area has been a place where a lot of people are. When it comes to rough sleeping, when it comes to child poverty, this one is the highest in Manchester. Right. Is there anything? Do you have any plan for child poverty? Not just child poverty, but just poverty in general.
Right.
As you can see, when you drive around here, you can see a lot of dirty streets. In the sense where beds are out there, it's just so dirty and it's just insane. And that's because a lot of people are poor, a lot of homelessness, a lot of knife crime, including in that, a lot of drugs. Do you have any plan to address those issues that Gorton is facing?
You'll hear things like child poverty, fuel poverty gets mentioned at hustings like this, and what comes down to, and you sort of alluded to this, poverty, right? It's the same. Whether it's child poverty, fuel poverty, pension poverty. We need to stop saying, we're going to move some wealth from here to here, we're going to move it from there to there. We need to start creating wealth, right? That's the key thing that our politicians have just missed for so long, right? We need to start enabling the British people to start creating wealth, right? By bringing energy costs down, they will be able to start, making a start-up, creating new jobs for the community, right? And that goes hand in hand with not saying, millions of people can come here and work, because we need to have a strong sense of who it is that we are, right? Who is going to be benefiting from those new industries. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense.
I really need to go because
Yeah, I know
my
you
friend's
gotta
going to
go.
leave.
Your
Is
friend's
that
gonna
right?
leave. Yeah, let's schedule a podcast. You got my Instagram. You got my
Yeah,
X, right?
yeah, for sure.
Hit me up. Let's do a podcast full on, right?
Sounds good.
We can give you a little
Right.
push. That's Sebastian from the SDP. He's
when
a
you
great
got-
guy, man. Very young as well. He's doing it. So
I was going to just.
you gotta say a
Take
W.
on
Let me get a
what?
mic, bro.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
Nah,
Yeah,
it's okay. It's okay.
I always.
Nah, it's alright.
But that's what such thing is about. I don't think it's something
I think it's the one. It was the only one of the candidates who's still here. A lot of them have run away, so it's good. We're gonna have a little word with him.
Okay, come on. What's it for?
Should we get an interview real quick?
If you like.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
TikTok, YouTube. Oh, where I'm from? Oh, I'm from here. I'm from
Yeah.
Iran.
No. What's your TikTok channel?
Oh,
Or something?
channel, yeah, it's Baraka. It's just my name.
Baraka, okay.
It's okay if we do it here, since the light is gonna be nice to us.
So what's that? Oh, I need to do a selfie. All right.
Yeah, it's like this.
All right.
So,
Is this good? Is this? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All
good.
right.
The audio is good. Say something.
Hello.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
So we're here with one of the candidates who's running. Could you tell us who you are and why you're running?
Yeah. So my name is Hugo Wills. I'm a factory worker, and I'm standing for the Communist League. It's a working class party. It starts with the basic reality and fact of society that there's two contending classes in society. The bosses, that's the billionaire rulers of this country who own the capital, and workers, the working people who have to sell their labor to the bosses day in, day out in order to get by.
Right.
And the Communist League starts with the fact that those two contending classes have opposite interests. And we need to start to, and the Communist League sides with the working class and fights for the working class and for the liberation of the working class. We need to take the power of the state into our own hands for any real changes to happen. You know, all the other candidates, they make all these promises, and then people vote for who they think is going to be a lesser evil, but then they come into power and it's exactly the same. The reason
we've seen a lot of that, yeah.
The reason why is because it's a class-divided society, and if you don't deal with that,
no
change can happen.
You spoke a lot about division in there. We're gonna get into that. How long do we have, just in case? How long? I mean, we can go for 10 minutes, but obviously I'm
10 minutes, bloody hell, yeah.
So you spoke a lot about division, so we're gonna address that. First of all, the thing that you just mentioned, that the class politics that we have, choosing the less of all evil.
Yeah.
And also the being a cog in a machine in a sense.
Yeah.
Now, it looks like you are more against, obviously, giving out the name of your party, it looks like you are against capitalism in that sense.
Right, yeah.
Now, we live in a semi-social, semi-capitalist country. Do you have any vision? Are you planning to change something?
Okay, the reason why there is a certain safety net in this country, which is being eroded, by the way.
Yeah.
Safety net, NHS, council housing,
Yeah.
certain things being more accessible than they used to be in the past. It doesn't come from some sort of politician that decided, oh, we'll do something nice for working people. It has come because workers and the unions have had to fight for it. We had to fight for everything we got. Everything. And it's the class struggle that determines these questions. And so the Communist League, actually the only promise we make in this election is that we continue standing up with working people who are fighting back. From workers in Birmingham who've been on strike against the attacks by the Labour Council on their wages. These are council workers who work for the bin men. They're in the same union as me.
I was thinking
And it's through building solidarity with these struggles and that we can start changing things. I think. But that has to go through a course where we actually take state power, because without state power, these things can be taken away from us in an instant.
So, in your future, let's say you win, or let's say your party comes into government.
Yeah.
I want to see what's the vision for Britain. Maybe 10 years on of you guys actually implementing all your policies. How will Britain be?
Well, if my party wins, that would mean a deep-going social change. It would also mean that there have been deep convulsions in Britain and around the world, which we are seeing. We're seeing more and more moves to wars. We're seeing more and more attacks on Jews and Jew hatred. We're seeing all sorts of convulsions we didn't think were going to happen again, because capitalism is in such a deep-going crisis. So the main thing we're doing right now is to educate and organize working people to see that that's the case and start building a combat party of our class that can change this. Now, when the Communist League gets into government, that would mean a revolution. That would mean that working people in their millions have realized that they need to take power in their own hands.
Right.
That's what it would mean. That working people would need to organize for themselves.
So how would that look like? Because the, working people controlling and taking control of and being in control of the labor of their fruits.
Yeah.
How would that look like in practice?
In practice, I think in practice.
Since you work in a factory, give me an example. Let's say an Amazon worker, and your party's in power. How would that look like for him?
Well, okay, right now, an Amazon worker or a factory worker like me, I work on the bench in a factory. Okay, I have no say on the speed of the job.
Right.
Whether it's safe, whether it's healthy. I have no say. The boss tells you work harder, work faster because they want to make their profits.
Right.
I have no say on what we actually produce. I mean, I produce parts for aircraft, but some of them might be aircraft for military use, some of them might be private jets. I have no say based on what humanity really needs.
Yeah.
I think we need more passenger aircraft, not necessarily private jets. and so I have no say. But when workers take control over the means of production, if we take state power, the workers can start to take control over the factories, can start to decide what we produce, how we do it, so that it's safe for us and safe for the environment. And we can start really looking at what are the needs of human beings, not what makes the most money and what sells the best in the market.
Right. Is there any country that has implemented what you're just saying and they got
to a
successful
degree, yes.
results?
No, because it's a world question. So to a degree, this has happened.
But don't you think that's a little bit of a problem? If a country has implemented and didn't get any success, why should Britain do it?
Let me explain.
Yeah, go ahead.
So okay, I think there have been two great revolutions that the working class has made in the 20th century. The first was the Russian Revolution.
Right.
In 1917. It ended World War I. It withdrew Russia from World War I, and then led to successive events led to the end of World War I. It gave land to the peasants. Workers started to organize control over industry, and Soviets were councils all over the country of workers. Okay, what happened was that revolution was beginning to be extended to Germany, but it failed because of leadership questions. And at the same time, in Russia, a counter-revolution took place with Stalin. That completely reversed that revolution. And it pushed working people out of politics. It shows that after you make a revolution, it's not over yet. And so we have seen decades of Stalinist misleadership. Okay, the second example is the Cuban Revolution. The Cuban Revolution has led to massive changes in Cuba. It's again, land for peasants, workers taking control. It has, more doctors per head of population than many other countries in the world. It has, it builds solidarity with African liberation struggles, like in Guinea-Bissau, in Angola, and others. It really transforms society massively, and it began healthcare. But then, of course, because it's on its own, the biggest power in the world, the United States, is punishing, which is it's an imperialist power, is punishing the people of Cuba for the audacity of making a revolution. That's why I say it's a world question. That's why it can't be done country by country, because a country of 10 million facing off against a country of 350 million, which with the might of the United States, it's difficult. But it's the example that counts. It shows that it can be done. And also some of the examples of what Cuba has achieved, despite the limited resources they have, is a good example that it can be done.
So in order for the country to look the way you want it to look, the whole world has to change. Is that what you're saying?
But in the whole world, there's a working class. And working people, whether working people live in Britain, whether working people live in Africa, Asia, Europe, Americas, our interests are similar. Our interests are the same. What we want for our family, for our kids, is pretty much the same. I don't believe in different. We don't want these wars that are happening.
Yeah,
we want similar things.
I think the want is out.
So I think it's going to be, So I think our class interests are identical around the world.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
is
nice
it
to
okay?
meet you.
Is it okay if we get you on the podcast for a long video?
If you think it's worth it, I don't know.
No, because I want to have a deep conversation about this.
Yeah.
Because there's some stuff that I agree, there's some stuff I disagree.
You don't agree, so
but I want to go back and forth.
Okay, when would you think?
Are you local?
Well, I live in Ladybarn. Do you know where Ladybarn is?
Yeah.
Near
I'm around. Near Burnage. All right. Okay, cool.
We'll give you my phone number. And we'll see if we can arrange it or not, and we'll make a decision.
Let me give you my phone number. Let's arrange something.
I need to catch you as soon as
I know. Yeah, for sure.
6 different people. I'll just pull out.
You wanna put your, you wanna?
Oh, should I give you your phone number? And
Just
then
put your phone number and
Yeah,
give
and-
yourself a missed call.
Okay,
All right,
sounds
folks.
good.
We're gonna get him on a podcast. Let me know what questions you have. Comment down below. I think this is a conversation that needs to be had. Yeah, this is a conversation. that
Okay,
needs to be
great.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's me. Yeah,
Perfect,
fine.
yeah.
And so it's Baraka, yeah?
Baraka, yes.
Is that your actual name? Or
Yeah,
is
that's
that
my
just a
actual
show?
name. That's
Okay,
my actual name.
Or,
Oh, I got so many.
so should I give you my...
I just gave you my missed call, right?
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Oh, how you doing? You all right?
Could you please stop screaming for
Could I end this? Okay, all right, folks, we're gonna have to end this. It's okay if we talk. I'll put it there because I got friends I need to talk to there. I also need to record them. All right, folks, we're gonna have to end this, I guess.